often get questions about what's my nutrition like, and so I thought I'd just do a video for you. And so what I have in front of me is probably 95% of what I eat. My diet is kind of a modified if it fits your macros, and I say modified because I think the general concept of if it fits your macros is as long as the food is within your macros for the day, you can have it in any combination at any time or all at once or in 4 meals or 5 meals, it doesn't matter. That's really not the way that I approach this. I have 6 meals throughout the day plus a intra-workout where I take in nutrition through there, and everything is planned out. Number of carbs, fats, and proteins per meal. The way that I'm set up, I get on workout days, I get no carbs my first 2 meals of the day. So the 1 meal left before my workout, I get 50 grams of carbs. And then the rest of my carbs for the entire day come from the intra-workout and then after. And so the whole purpose of it is really to load the carbs in after the workout to help the growth process. At least that's the theory behind it. And also the theory behind it is to try to separate as much taking in fats and proteins in the same meal as possible. So the remainder of my fats for the rest of the day are only 5 grams of fat a meal. So you have to get pretty inventive to be able to hit those numbers. And over time, I've gotten much better. When I first started this, it seemed to be pretty difficult for me to hit the numbers that I needed to hit. But since then, I've gotten able to find foods that fit better and make everything work. Now, just so everyone knows, I've been cutting actually since January. I've got a show coming up in October, but I'm cutting very slowly, trying to do not more than 1 pound a week. I started at 225. I'm now at 193. It's working well. I'm not hungry. I'm not starved. I have energy from my workouts. So the plan for me has been working. But everyone's body is different. You could be on the exact same plan that I am, and your metabolism may not work the same. You may not have the same sensitivities, and so you may not be able to have the same results that I necessarily have on what I am particularly doing. It took some tweaking at the beginning to get this to where it needed to be. It wasn't something that I set up at the very beginning and it worked automatically. With my coach, we sat there and worked, and we changed a few things to make it work better and better. So, protein sources. Beef, chicken, and this is white meat, and then eggs. And probably most of my protein comes from just those 3 sources. Now, I do have a fat-free turkey that I do use from time to time, depending on kind of the needs and where it may need to fit in there. As far as whey protein, I have a typical whey concentrate, and then I also have an isolate. Now, I use the isolate every day. I rarely use the concentrate just because the numbers, even though they're small numbers, they really throw me off. But the Eat the Bear, it's a very good protein. It's high quality. It's cold filtered, 0 carbs, 0 fats, and it mixes up thick. And so I kind of like that in a protein. Now, of course, my fats also come from these sources too. I did miss out. I do have a fat-free cheese that I get protein from. But my fats come from my protein sources, plus peanut butter and fish oil. And so generally, I'm able to make up fats, or there may be fats in some of the other foods. I usually don't have to add fats to what I'm eating. As far as greens go, broccoli, asparagus, and salad, just leaf lettuce salad. I have those throughout the day, and I don't count, if they're green vegetables, I don't count them in my macros. Now, when it comes to other carb sources, that's where it seems a little bit different probably than a typical diet. For instance, Lucky Charms. I eat Lucky Charms every day. My post-workout is 60 grams of carbs from Lucky Charms, and I use the Eat the Bear as the milk. So I get my protein, 40 grams of protein, 60 grams of carbs, no fats, and it tastes good. My intra-workout is just dextrose that I mix in with my branched chains, and I get 40 grams of carbs from it. But then my other carb sources are bagels, tortillas that have some fat in them, fat-free tortillas, pasta, brown rice, fat-free pretzels, fat-free Pringles, and this actually has been a lifesaver. One, I love Pringles, and so this is sour cream and onion. I like the taste, but it's 1 carb per Pringle, no fats, no proteins, and so per chip I meant. So on some of these meals where I may have 30 carbs to go or 35 carbs to go after my sandwich or whatever my main thing is, 30 chips is a lot of chips, and so you actually get pretty full. Then I also have some fruit snacks, or my absolute favorite is Jelly Bellies. And with the way that I'm set up, I have 1 day a week, which is a refeed day. Now, refeed days are not cheat days. Cheat days are you eat anything you want to. It doesn't matter what it is. You have pizza, you have a big hamburger, or whatever. Refeed days are just to help restore your glycogen levels, and so you increase your carbs, and carbs only, for that particular day. And so when you really increase the carbs, sometimes it's difficult for me just to get it through rice or something else because you're having to eat quite a bit. So that's where the jelly beans, something like that really kind of helps to fill in those extra carbs that you need for the day. Now in front of me I have condiments that I use. This is, of course, salsa is good for everything, especially omelets. Mustard, one of the best things that happen for bodybuilders, no carbs and no fats. And then, and no protein for that matter. And then Walden Farms. Walden Farms is something that actually I found kind of late in the process. But, for instance, this is bacon ranch salad dressing. But it's calorie free. So it's not fat free, it's calorie free. So there's no carbs, there's no fats in it, there's nothing. It's a good salad dressing, so you can throw that on. This is a mayonnaise that they use. Walden Farms, everything that they make is calorie free. So you can have, they have syrups, they have chocolate sauces, they have all kinds of salad dressings. They got a chipotle mayonnaise that I like. And so it really helps to throw some flavor in for what you're eating and then not mess up your macros. Now, talking about macros themselves, I'm cutting on 2,575 calories. That's what I'm taking in. And it's 42% carbs, 38% protein, and 20% fats. And when people hear that, sometimes they say, well, that's a lot of carbs. Well, I used to think that too. However, in working with my coach on the nutrition piece of it, the first few months, actually, I kept increasing carbs and losing weight. And basically what I was doing is I was increasing my metabolism. And when I increased my metabolism, I was able to actually continue to burn more. And so what typically happens in a lot of the low-carb diets and things that I had done in the past is eventually your weight loss stops because your metabolism slows down so much. And so one of the things here is to kind of keep your carbs up, keep your metabolism going, keep the fuel always going, and that's been a big help. And for those of you who say, well, really, how do you figure out the macros? It's really pretty easy math. Just keep in mind, fats have 9 calories per gram. Proteins and carbs have 4 calories per gram. So in my particular case, if I have 75 in total calories, 42% of that is going to be carbs. So I do the math, figure out how many calories that's going to be, then divide that by 4, and that's how many grams of carbs that I can have. And so that's really how you figure it out. Figure out your total calories, figure out your percentages, and then divide by 4 or 9, depending on whether it's a carb, a protein, or a fat, and then you can end up with what total calories, grams you need for that particular source. So that's what it is. That's how I eat. It's not the super regimented, clean diet, but it's also not over the top. It fits your macros. I stay full. I have energy, and so it's